Europe and US Tzu Chi volunteers returned to Portugal for the third time to continue disaster relief work in Oliveira de Frades. Taiwan Railway completes the construction of a new railway tunnel stretching from Hualien to Taitung, shortening the travel time. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. When Portugal was struck with multiple forest fires last year, Tzu Chi conducted aid distributions in Vozela. After the distributions, Europe and US Tzu Chi volunteers returned to Portugal for the third time, continuing to help other communities in need. The areas hit by the forest fires were vast. The hills are now bare with some houses here and there. Jose Pedro Cabos wanted to protect his cattle, so he refused to leave. Luckily, he was saved by a brave villager. The burns are still visible on his body. Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to the mountainside for home visits despite poor weather conditions. 82-year-old Arlindo's farm and farming tools were all destroyed in the fire. His living situation isn't ideal, and he now only has his cattle to cling onto. Through home visits, Tzu Chi volunteers hope to bring some joy for the survivors. Back at the Oliveira de Frades City Hall, all the local volunteers that helped out at the February Tzu Chi distributions gathered.
You are a foundation that help people in difficulties. So when my English teacher talked to me to help you, I don't think two times. I think that we are here to help other people that needs help, and we should do our best to help every people.
So your contribution yourself,
yeah,
at that time, you feel very happy?
Yeah.
It's nice meeting you all. And if you need anything from me, as long as I can do it, because I'm a bit aged already, so no physical work. But if you need me to translate or to do some paperwork or whatever, I've got all the time. I'm retired already, so that's it.
It's such a surprise that due to the disaster, we have found some new friends. Your guys' willingness to help us is so endearing. We are very touched. Thank you.
Tzu Chi volunteers from both Europe and the United States returned to Portugal for the third time. This time, training classes have started for 6 local volunteers, which will be a big help for future projects. Since local schools in City Soleil, Haiti are going to be closed for summer vacation, meaning food will not be provided for students during this time, Tzu Chi volunteers reach out to help, ensuring the families to have the means to feed their children during the next 3 months. This is my first time in Haiti with the Tzu Chi Foundation doing rice distributions. I'm happy and excited to see the people they are coming to start the distribution.
I have 3 children plus my husband and I. We're 5 in total. The rice can last 2 months. It's really important for us. Instead of buying rice now, I'm going to use the money for oil and other ingredients to cook with.
This is glory for me. I hope God blesses the people who gave us this rice, and hope these people continue to send us rice. I'm going to take it home and eat it and share it with those who don't have anything. I don't have any money to buy other ingredients to cook it with, so I will just cook it without anything. We can eat it just plain like this.
I have 8 children and the rice will last about 8 days. It's really important for me because I didn't have any money to buy rice. I hope they distribute it more often.
I'm going to store it at home and I will share it with the people who didn't have the opportunity to come here today.
I received 3 bags of rice. It's a benefit for us because we don't earn enough money regularly to buy it.
Thank you so much. I hope the foundation stays in Haiti and continues to be with us. Thank you so much.
A young man named Jordan Imperial in the Philippines had a scar on his nose when he was little, and then it became a cyst as he grew. Thanks to the help of his employer and Tzu Chi volunteers, he was able to undergo a necessary surgery.
In a dark factory, Jordan is working quietly. He is often alone because he felt discouraged in the crowd due to the cyst on his nose.
When I was little, it was like a scar, but as I grew older, it has become a cyst.
He faced discrimination during his years in schools. It was not until he met his factory employer his life became hopeful for a change.
Good morning.
Through his boss connection, Tzu Chi volunteers came to care for him and arrange his surgical operation.
The bone on his nose is already rotten. That's why we had to get a bone from his collarbone in order to construct his nose.
Fortunately, the cyst didn't corrode the brain and the surgery was successful. The boss burst into tears when being asked why he paid for Jordan's medical expenses unconditionally.
Last December, before my mother passed away, she told me to continue to help others in need. When I had finally learned how to give, it was already too late.
Then after a while, I realized tama yung sinabi ng mother ko.
Alexander's regret has turned into a motivation for him to help Jordan. They both felt grateful for this precious lesson in life.
In Taiwan, supporters of DaAi TV recently paid a visit to DaAi TV in Guangdu, Taipei. During the visits, they shared touching stories and learned about how DaAi TV will be utilizing technology to spread more wholesome principles.
Tzu Chi volunteers warmly welcomed the supporters of DaAi TV. While many of them have been to DaAi TV before, they have different insights after each visit. 84-year-old Xie Minghe sells fried buns for a living. Despite living a frugal life, he still does good deeds. He has come to share with everyone his determination.
Whenever disaster strikes, Tzu Chi volunteers are always there to help out. Therefore, I feel deeply touched. Then I decided that I would sell fried buns in front of my house to save money and make donations.
Every volunteer has a touching personal story. The mission of DaAi TV is to spread these wholesome stories.
Tzu Chi's humanistic culture is the strength people accumulated over time. From now on, we will be spreading the Buddha Dhamma utilizing technology.
With the selfless dedication of all these volunteers, DaAi TV is able to spread wholesome stories and principles to different corners of the world. Besides supporting the work of DaAi TV, these visitors also experience the TV anchor's work.
We've never seen the scene where anchors work. I'm deeply touched to see how these anchors do their job with perfect pronunciation and poise.
Among the DaAi TV supporters, 86-year-old Yang Wu Zhao has invited 66 people to donate $33,000 to DaAi TV.
I keep telling my friends that since DaAi TV was established, it needs our support. We should do what we can to help. I'm very happy that everyone gave me positive response. Like the master said, we need to form good affinities with people.
Ye Xiulan, who owns a bakery, has made a vow to help more people in need with her professional skills.
We must be really blessed to be able to contribute to Tzu Chi. I'm very grateful that the Master has paved the path for us. I'm coming to DaAi TV for the first time. After listening to the sharing, I've decided to donate $33,000 with the additional income I earned from selling bread.
The cycle of love has given the humanitarian culture mission the strength to strive forward. By the next morning, supporters of DaAi TV from Taoyuan and Hsinchu have also come to visit Humanistic Culture Center. After 20 years of establishment, DaAi TV will be spreading more wholesome principles with technology. The volunteers are extremely excited about this.
More than 10 years ago, after DaAi TV was established, I came here to give a guided tour. After that, I've never been back here. Therefore, I've seized the opportunity to come here this time. Whenever I ask how many people have attended the inauguration ceremony of DaAi TV 20 years ago, many people raise their hands. In other words, for the past 20 years, all these brothers, sisters, and volunteers have supported us. When they come back to DaAi TV, it is a kind of homecoming.
The volunteers each have their way of promoting DaAi TV.
The master once said we could save 10 NT dollars a day. Since my 4 grandchildren were born, I've been supporting the humanistic culture mission. My oldest grandchild is now a 10th grader.
I tell my donating members that if their entire family supports Tzu Chi, their mother can support DaAi TV. By doing so, the donor can cultivate her wisdom, which is important to mothers.
DaAi TV is valuable as it has the means to broadcast wholesome programs and stories.
With the support of the public, DaAi TV can continue carrying out the mission of purifying people's minds.
Taiwan Railway recently celebrated its 131st anniversary with a new railway tunnel stretching from Hualien to Taitung that will be shortened travel time by 10 minutes, with some 28 stations getting upgraded in order to attract more tourists to these destinations.
You buy a train ticket and get a seat. Makes you feel in your heart that you're going home.
Connecting this express line helps celebrate Taiwan Railway's 131st anniversary. It's been 4 years since the Taitung line has been electrified.
From Taipei to Taitung, the Puyama Express train has shortened the trip by 1 hour. The speed has not only increased, but so has the number of trains.
Last stop in speeding up the Taitung line was improving a one-way express rail tunnel between Hualien's Raceway and Sanmi to make traffic pass in 2 directions as a new Zichang tunnel was recently completed.
The Zichang tunnel height didn't allow us to operate an electrified line, and at the beginning we had to limit the speed through the tunnel.
Hidden in this forest is old Saoba Railway Tunnel, which was built during the Japanese colonial era, as a creek near the tunnel shows the difficulty of the construction.
This 0.762 meters was before electrifying tunnel lines. As we see inside, it was all brick, and they were smarter than us by putting a line here, which avoids this muddy sediment.
After 7 years of battling the mud, the new Zichang Tunnel was opened last year for Western Track, and the Eastern Track is expected to be open in July, making it a double-track tunnel. Hualien's southernmost station, Fuli, is an agricultural community, and the place is known for its rice.
Weeds in these fields need to be cleared out. The field has to be clean, otherwise the seeds from the weeds will fall here and grow.
The local train station resembles a barn as it tries to integrate into the local surroundings. It won a silver medal at the 2017 HKIA Cross-Strait Architectural Design Symposium and Awards in the transportation segment. The station also harkens back to memories of students leaving small villages for study.
I'm coming from far away and taking this train, and along the entire route I have the feeling that I'm coming home.
Taiwan Railways from 2010 began upgrading the Eastern Line. One location was Guanshan Station, which has a 2-stage mansard-style roof, which is the only preservation of Japanese colonial-era architecture on the East Coast. Some 100 meters away is a station which serves commuters.
We wanted each station to be special and leverage local diversity. We didn't want to do it like they did in the past. where all stations were the same, and we want to inspire a different type of feeling.
The Zhishan station is shaped like a barn with the main reception area having a high ceiling which lets in the light. It also hosts a special calligraphy exhibition.
The light in here is quite good as they use glass to let in the light. And though it is tall, it feels quite cool and it integrates nicely with the township.
After the transformation of the station, not only do travelers get a better impression of the community when they arrive and when they leave, but so do those from this area who now have fond memories of coming home.
At Tzu Chi Thailand chapter's monthly free clinics for refugees, in addition to promoting environmental protection, Tzu Chi volunteers would also provide fruits and vegetables for refugees to bring home.
The fruit and vegetables collected from supermarkets in Bangkok have become foods cherished by Tzu Chi volunteers and refugees.
I think it's really good. I've helped once before last month, and there is so much less waste this month than there was last month. And it's great to know that the kids are getting to eat it today, and there's less waste, so it's really, really good. I'm really pleased that these girls took the time to cut it.
About 500 to 600 people have gathered at the Jingsi Hall for Tzu Chi Thailand chapter's monthly free clinic.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, it is right, the cooperation is unique. Because when we take it, usually we have to distribute it to needy organizations. But here, it's coupled with the nursing stations and a greater purpose.
The volunteers usually pack the food for refugee families with reusable bags. When there aren't enough bags, the volunteers make them with recycled clothing.
We turn the second-hand clothing into reusable bags so that the refugees have bags for the food they want to bring home. This is another creative way to protect Mother Earth.
As Tzu Chi volunteers hold free clinics to safeguard people's health, they also give out second-hand clothing. They promote vegetarianism, environmental protection, and invite everyone to cherish the limited resources.
In Taiwan, students and teachers from Jiayi's National Zhongzheng University participated in the beach cleanup activity to help promote environmental protection and learn how bad marine plastic pollution is at the moment.
Jiayi National Zhongzheng University Tzu Chi Club invited both students and teachers of Mingsen High School to the beach cleanup day trip. It was a super windy day, but everyone was in high spirits to help clean up the beach side.
We always talk about environmental protection, but not many people actually get to physically experience it. That's why we hope through the beach cleanup event, everyone can reflect on exactly what we are doing to Mother Earth with our careless actions. Furthermore, through reflecting, people can start changing their reckless habits.
It really made me think about what I did in my daily life. Like, do I really need to buy that item?
Haomei is an oyster farming area. The beaches were filled with broken oyster farming wooden structures. Some removed the wooden structures, others dug out the many plastic strands that were stuck to the wood from underneath the sand. 210 teachers and students participated in the beach cleanup event, and they were carrying bags upon bags of trash collected from the beach side. Thanks to their efforts, the raw beach sand is visible again.
Attending a graduation trip may be a heavy financial burden for students living in remote areas. Graduates of Guangxi Elementary School in Lugu, Nantou have raised funds for their graduation trip with the crops they grew at the school's farm. This year, the graduates chose to ride bicycles around the island, cutting down on transportation costs.
At the crack of dawn, the students of Guangxi Elementary School are already taking off. In the scorching weather, the teacher pours water on the students to cool them down. They also study together on how to fix the damaged bike. They had to do everything on their own, including selling the vegetables they grew to raise money for their trip.
When they conducted various fundraisers, they learned that money isn't easy to come by. The children also became very passionate and motivated to complete their goals.
With everyone's help, these students finally made enough money to cover their trip. They cycled all around the island. Even though the trip was physically demanding, the students wanted to leave a message of gratitude to everyone.
可能有遇到一些小问题，不过我们还是一一 地的面对那些问题，所以要感谢那些老师还有辛苦的家长们，非常感激大家对这次环岛的种种帮助，谢谢大家。
Their sweat and accomplishments made them realize they must work hard for what they want in life. This graduation trip allowed these students to learn more about the real world.
In our next report, we meet two winners of the Zhou Daguan Foundation's Fervent Global Love of Life Medal, Liu Gengming and Wang Zhiyuan, who both work hard to become independent and continue to be optimistic about their life.
Clasping both hands together helps Liu Gengming stabilize his body, as he has cerebral palsy. He's overcome this disability to grasp the preciousness of life.
I try to use my time well, and sometimes I try to encourage myself to do something that I want to achieve. Either it's trying something or doing something different.
Liu Gengming's perseverance has helped improve his life. To honor his achievement, he was given the Zhou Daguan Foundation's Fervent Global Love of Life Medal and Scholarship. And this is Associate Professor of Business Management, Wang Zhiyuan. In 2015, he suffered an unexplained infection leading to necrosis with his limbs later amputated.
My mother came to comfort me and asked me one thing. Could I accept that my life would be different than before? I looked at her, but I couldn't answer.
He was forced to accept a different life. His healthy limbs became prosthetic. He accepted Taiwan's first allogenic double-arm transplant. His life has not been easy, but he has been very grateful and cherishes all of it.
You realize without hands and feet that everything used to be easy to do, though you didn't know that it was precious. When I talk to people now, they don't understand how the importance of this great gift.
How do you deal with impermanence? You need greatest courage and also great compassion and energy to arise.
Wang Zhiyuan now has the courage to go on and has been eager to embrace the great changes in his life as he tells everyone to enjoy every moment of their life.
In Tainan, a chain restaurant has joined hands with the Eden Social Welfare Foundation to provide a workplace for the physically challenged individuals to have hands-on experiences. Here is our report.
Learning about garnishing and food presentation in the restaurant kitchen, Wu Xingyi, who wears a body brace, listens to the instructions and works mindfully.
一个摆上去，对不对？对。有没有很困难？
36-year-old who suffers from multiple disabilities, including scoliosis. Despite that, she enjoys learning and aspires to achieve her dreams.
Worried about her health conditions, we are hesitant to let her do baking. However, as her health conditions improve, we've started to let her come into the kitchen.
Dusting powdered sugar on the pancakes, they're working their way to achieve their dreams.
We are grateful to the company that provides us with the space and opportunities for them to work. They are one step closer to achieving their dreams.
Society works in reciprocal ways. We've been thinking about how, as restaurant owners, we can contribute to the society in a positive way.
The company has made postcards with the drawings of the physically challenged individuals, hoping more customers will support them. With such efforts, it is hoped that people will recognize the ability and hard work of the physically challenged population.
To celebrate the upcoming Dragon Boats Festival, Tzu Chi volunteers in Guangdong and Fujian made vegetarian zongzi for charity sales. We will leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.